So we're growing main branches, old branches, and young branches. I'm not going to smooth the geometry though. Just checking the texture file here, the texture section. It's fine. It's important when you use this plugin to make sure that your max unit scaling is set to real world scale. And I'm using max's default inches value, so as long as you're working in inches or centimeters, or your model is scaled, whatever, even if you're working in meters, as long as your model is to scale, you shouldn't have a problem with the plugin creating the right size ivy for you. Alright, let's grow our ivy using this and let's see what we get. There is a section in here I do have to change though, I just can't find it at the moment. And it's to do with the distribution of the mesh here. He updated this plugin a month or two ago and I haven't used it for about maybe 5 or 6 months. So again, I'm just not sure where he's moved it to. Mesh. View. Okay, it looks like it's here. Let's grow our ivy and let's see what we get. I'm going to come back up here to the grow ivy button. It seems to be spreading out more than it's doing anything. I'm just waiting for it to finish its calculation. Oh, what are you doing? Looks like, again I have to wait for this plugin to finish its calculating. Looks like to me it's actually growing the ivy on the inside of the mesh instead of the outside, and that's probably because I've moved that grow point a bit too close to the mesh itself. So I am going to jump into my age here and go back to 0, pushes it back to no ivy. I'm going to pull out my grow point here a bit. I'm also going to pull it up a bit, just in case it grew underneath, which is I think what it ended up doing. So I'm going to start the ivy growing a little bit higher. I'm going to pull it in just a bit more. Okay, let's start it growing there and see what we get. Yeah, it's too far out. See, it stopped. It hit the side of the wall and then it stopped. So again, I'm going to push it back to 0. I'm going to pull it in, pull it up a bit as well. Nope, not in that much. Okay, let's try it again. No, it looks like it's growing along the outer edge here, I think. Again, you see it's growing it inside the mesh, and it's also only using the buds here, so I have to look at the settings to see why that is. Before I do that, I want to wait for it to finish, and then I'm going to set it back to 0, so no growth. And I'm just going to look through my settings here. It seems to have moved a section. There was a section in here that allowed you to choose how much of what percentage you wanted each of those flowers, buds and things to grow in. Just can't seem to find it. Pull it out a bit more so we get more a larger view of what's going on. It should be opening up another dialogue box, and it doesn't seem to be doing it. So. Generally when you open that up, there's supposed to be a separate dialogue that opens. It doesn't look like it's doing it. Now, whether that's a problem again with Max 2017, I'm not sure. This is what we're going to do. We're going to turn off the bud. Let's go with the flowers only and see what we get. I'm just going to jump into his instructions here because this is what I'm looking for. This dialogue box, it doesn't seem to be opening. Which allows you to put a percentage of how much of each you want it to use. Anyway, let's turn off the flower bud for the moment here, and I'm also going to move my my ivy growing to the other side of this here. Pull it up. Alright, let's try it again. If I can't get it to grow in Max 2017, I know I can take it into 2016 and do it there. Again, it's growing on the inside of the geometry. Right, going into the geometry. Alright. Let's take it back to 0. Select our border here. I'm going to do a reset X form on this one as well. I'll use that on the columns to smooth out the edges. Alright. Let's try again here. Hey Leapless, how's things? We're just trying to grow some ivy here at the moment. I'm having a bit of a problem with the plugin.
I hear the army coming round the corner.
Doesn't seem to want to grow very far.
The barricades to return the father's end. And I pray the wise man.
How's your character model coming, Leapless? You keep waking up at 4. That's not good. And again, what it's doing is it's growing the ivy on the interior of that mesh. I don't know why it's doing that. You didn't do much at all yesterday? It can be nice to have a day off. I mean, you know, you don't want to force yourself to do any work. That's never fun. I'm going to move it out a little bit. I'm also going to move it up a bit. But it seems the seed value, changing the seed value was causing problems with the plugin. Alright. Well, we're getting the ivy growing. It's just still growing on the inside of that mesh. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this back to 0 so we turn the growth off again. I am going to look at this mesh here. I'm going to throw another poly down. And select it all. I'm going to flip my UVs. Now we're going to try again. I need to select my grow point. I'm going to move it in a little bit closer to the actual border here. And let's grow it again. I'm going to pause it there. Now, it doesn't seem to be using any of my mesh flowering buds though, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Basically the problem with it growing on the inside of this border was because my my normals were flipped the wrong way. So by flipping it again, that's because of Max's mirror command, because I remember when I made that side I mirrored it from this side. So not only is Max's mirror command screwing up the UVs, it's also flipping the geometry, so just be aware of that if you're using Max 2017. Now my next problem here is though why it's not using my mesh. It should be. I'm just looking through his parameters here. Yeah, it can be a real pain sometimes with the normals. You know, sometimes you can't, you don't even notice when you're creating either the normal map. It's not until you go to render it that sometimes you spot black splotches happening in the wrong spots, or the normal maps can be a bit of a pain sometimes to work with. I just can't seem to see where he's moved his. There used to be an option in here that allowed you to use a percentage of each mesh that you wanted in the growing process, and it does not seem to be working for me. And again, that could be a problem with Max 17. It just doesn't seem to be loading these meshes at all. I can't see any of the flowers in here at all. Alright, let's set it back to 0. And again, like I said, according to his own document here, we should be seeing this leaf transform dialogue, and I'm not getting that at all. So pick a button to pick, and on or transform with double click option. Okay. Instead of just clicking it, you've got to double click it. So live and learn. And this is just a variation, so if you want to rotate the leaves around as they're being created, change the rotation of the scale. We don't want to do any of that though. I'm sure he used to have it in the textures. That's where he used to set it up. Yeah, let's turn that back on. Let's grow it again. I have a feeling what it's doing here is because it's taking a little while. It's loading up the mesh, but I think it's only using the bud. Yeah, it's just using the buds, and I don't want that. So it seems to be ignoring everything else. There we go. Yeah, it seems to only be loading up one of the meshes. It should be loading up the 3. So it's got to work out why it's doing that. Chugging away my max here. I think before I do anything, as soon as the plugin sorts itself out, I'm going to set it back to 0. I have had this plugin crash max before, so I'm just a bit careful with it. Not since, I haven't used it for about 6 months, and he did update it. There you go. Thankfully we saved our file. That's one thing to be aware of. It's a great plugin, and when it works really well, but it does occasionally crash max. But like I said, I saved my file because I knew that that was a risk with this plugin. And when it does work, it gives really good results. So I'm going to persevere with it because I want to see what the problem is. Of course, you can do Ivy in Vue as well. You can grow Ivy in Vue, but it doesn't do as good a job. So you've been having problems with your normal map. So what are we saying? You changed the way Maya works with normals to the old style. Okay. I didn't know my eliteness had changed the way normal maps were working. I know there's a difference between the normal maps between Max and Maya. I think it's the green channel or something is flipped in one program from the other. And again, I've just got to wait for Max to load up this file. I'm almost tempted to load up 2016 instead of 2017. Pardon me. And use the older version of the plugin because I knew where everything was in that. He seems to have changed things around in the new one. And it doesn't seem to be any more stable than the old one anyway. Come on. And like I was saying, since the Windows update, I was talking to Sniper Echo about it, since the Windows 10 update or the new NVIDIA driver, I've noticed that loading files in Max is taking a lot longer than it used to. So I don't know whether it's a Microsoft problem or an NVIDIA problem, but one of the two. They've changed something that is making it take a lot longer to load up. Seems to take about twice as long now. You think Max is frozen? It's not. It's still loading that program in the background. I'm trying to load the file in the background. Hey Knacker Bags, how are you? Oh, good to see you too. An unusual username there. Yeah, it's always good when you guys pop into chat and say hi. Remember, if you anyone watching, if you want to pop in and say hi, feel free. If you just want to watch, then that's completely fine too. But it's good to see you, Knackerbags. We got our second Angels in. We're just trying to work out what's going on with an Ivy plugin that I want to use for it, for this model. I think what I might try doing is I'm going to save this model out as a Max 2016 version. Because of course you can't load 2017 Max files natively into 2016. You've got to actually set it to what version you want to save as. So I'm going to save it as a Max 2016 file because it won't load up this native 2017 file in 2016. And then I'm going to open up Max 2016 and look at the plugin in that. I do want to make I haven't used 2016 since they released 2017. I do know that 2017 though will crash my entire computer if I use DirectX 11, so I have to use DirectX 9. So I think the first thing I'll do is when I open up version 2016 is I'm going to change the Nitrous viewport from DirectX 11 to DirectX 9 because otherwise my stream will completely crash. So it's a risk I'm taking because I haven't loaded up 2016 for a while. So anyway, we've saved out the file here as version for the 3D Studio Max 2016. I might give it one more go though with that Grow Ivy here. Let's just select a couple of things. This should probably be enough. I don't think it's going to go too far. Again, I'm going to flip my normals though on this because I know that's a problem. Doesn't look like it is flipped to me. If anything, that looks like it's the wrong way around. And I can tell by the lighting. Let's not flip them at this stage, let's have a look. Again, I'm going to jump back in and throw down one of these grow ivy. Before I do that, I'm going to deselect everything. I'm not going to make any changes to the plugin at all. I'm just going to leave it on its default settings. Again, I want to get this as close to the wall as possible, well, within reason. Let's see, try growing some ivy again now. I'm not changing any of the leaf meshes yet. No, it is growing on the inside again, alright. Okay, so I do need to flip it again. It just looked wrong to me, that was all. Okay, we'll flip our UVs there, flip our normals, jump back into our plugin again. I'm just going to jump into my material editor here. Oh, no, that's not what I want. That's what I want. I'm going to just move my shaders here off to the side. And I'm going to pick up the texture it's using. It's a multi-material texture here. And he uses a vertex color as well, which I generally turn off. I'm just trying to work out why it's not showing in the viewport for me. I notice it is showing in the top viewport here. Considering I've got rid of the vertex color, I'm going to pipe that directly into the diffuse channel. I'm going to get rid of that one there. This one is the branch color. This one should be the leaf color, and he's piping that into all of the leaves because you can have up to 13 variations of leaves. For some reason, that's why I hate these multi-materials sometimes. It can be a real pain. There's obviously a problem between Max's new viewport shader and this multi-material. Anyway, I'm more concerned with what's going on with the plugin at this stage. I'm going to take this back to 0. Yeah. That's the grow age, back to 0. I'm just going to select all of that and exit isolation mode. Oh god, no. It is a cool plugin when it works. I accidentally hit the save button here, I didn't want to do that. Anyway, we can wait. Yeah, when Smurfberry, when the plugin works, it's very cool. It just seems to be giving me some trouble at the moment. Again, it may very well be a Max 2017 problem, because there are a lot of problems with Max 2017. I wish I hadn't hit that button. I've hit the save button by accident, so it's saving the file again. Okay. I just want to see if I pulled in my flower buds or not. I don't think I did, no. Looks like I didn't, because they'd be here if I did. We may have to leave doing this plugin for now, I think, until I get a bit more time to look at what's going on either with Max or with the plugin itself, because he has changed a few of the options around a bit. So I think we may leave it until I get back, and then we can look at what's going on when I have a bit more time, and I can explain exactly what happened to you guys. We got a lot of what we wanted done though. We have finished texturing up the model, we've got the new statues in. It's just the ivy that I want to grow on it that is left to do. But aside from that, you guys that have been watching me since I started doing the terrace, creating the terrace, you can see it fully textured up and complete aside from the ivy, which I'll look into. And I'll do on stream once I work out what's going wrong. So I do recommend the plugin. Like I said, I'll look at what the problem is when I have a bit more time, probably in the new year. I'm just going to save this version as version 18 now. Because like I said, I always work incrementally, and now that I've finished doing the corrections to the few pieces of geometry that were intersecting and brought in the new angel statues and everything's been textured up, I'll save this out as version 18. So I know that that's the last version I worked on, so when I bring it back in again, I can start doing an attach of all of the pieces of geometry before I do an export and bring it into view. Yeah, and then like I said, I'll look at what's going on with the plugin. It may mean I may have to go back into version 2016 to use the plugin to grow the ivy. It wouldn't surprise me if it was a problem with Max 2017, because like I said, I've had quite a few problems with Max 2017. I do want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I won't be streaming again now until the 9th of January, so Monday the 9th of January 2017. I'm taking 2 weeks off. I have to fly interstate to visit my brother and sister for Christmas and New Year. I have to do the family thing over Christmas. I will be back though again on Monday the 9th of January 2017. We will pick up where we left off here with this model. I won't do any more work on it. I won't have a chance. I fly out on Saturday, so when I get back we will pick up on the model. I'll do an export and bring it into Eon View so we can start doing some beauty renders. What other cool Max plugin did you find, Smurfberry? I'm always interested in anything cool that's around for Max. Yeah, I know, Leapness. Oh, Debris Maker. Okay. Debris Maker. That does sound interesting. Because anything to do with it, usually I use PhysX if I want to do any debris. I'll break it down that way. But if there's a plugin that does it more easily, then that's pretty cool. I'll have to look into that when I get back. What's a lot of time leaving us? 2 weeks. I've got to fly into state to visit my family, my brother and sister, and you know they're both married, and one lives in one end of the state, the other lives in the other, so I have to travel between the two of them. So that's why I'm spending 2 weeks up in Queensland. He gives it away for free. He makes rocks and gems and twigs. Oh, cool. I'll have to check that out, Snowberry, because that sort of thing is very interesting. It's always useful to have a plugin like that, Debris Maker. And like I said, this plugin for growing ivy is, well, I'm glad that's okay, Lee. This plugin for growing ivy is very good too, when you can get it to work. And I will look into it when I get back. I know that you guys some of you guys really want to see what this model looks like when it's rendered up in Eon View. So aside from working out the ivy problem, that'll be the next thing we do when I get back. I'll export the model, I'll create some normal maps in Null, and then we'll import it into Eon View and create a 3D environment so we can render out some beauty shots in Eon View. So I know Sniper Echo, you've been playing around with the personal learning edition of that software to give you a few more weeks to play around with the different settings before I get back, and then we can go through how I set up a render in it and how I create the environment and do all of that sort of thing using this model that we've been creating, the garden terrace. So I do wish you guys a very Merry Christmas and a happy and safe New Year. I will be back again in 2 weeks on the 9th of January, as you can see there. I'll be back on the 9th of January at 5 PM as usual, Pacific time in the US. Then I'll be back to my regular schedule. It'll be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at 5 PM from then on. I won't be streaming next week or the week after, so back on the 9th of January, Monday the 9th of January at 5 PM. Like I said, I hope you guys have a good Christmas, a safe Christmas. Don't eat too much. Thank you guys who followed the channel today. I do appreciate it. All you guys are great. You're quite welcome. Critique. So you guys have a great Christmas, Happy New Year, and I will see you in the new year. See you, Eliteness. See you, Smurfberry Barbecue. See you, everybody that's watching. I'll be back again on the 9th of January at 5 PM. Keep an eye on my Twitter page if you're not sure. But I will be back on that day. So you enjoy your Christmas too, Smurfberry. I hope you all have a great Christmas. And I shall see you all in the new year. See you guys.